Law enforcers in Nabережные Челны conducted searches of at least 4 activists of Tatar national movement and the wives of activists. The searches were conducted as a part of criminal investigation into the so-called justification of extremism. The reason for prosecution was a video discussion of drone attacks on the territory of the Alabuga Special Economic Zone and on the Tenneco oil refinery. Former Tatarstan Education Minister was also detained recently. He is the only one of the highest-ranking officials in the Republic who did not support the cancellation of compulsory Tatar language study in schools. Meanwhile, the court has already chosen a measure of restraint for the director of the Buinsk Theater, and 2 criminal cases have been opened against Tatarstan political scientist who runs the YouTube channel of the League of Free Nations. All this speaks of growing pressure on national activists of Tatarstan, experts believe.
The intensification of repressions against members of government of independent Tatarstan in exile and their close relatives suggests that their activities abroad pose a danger to the existing Russian regime, from a publication on the government of independent Tatarstan Telegram channel.
Free formations and functioning of national movements inside Russia under Putin's regime is impossible, said Said Ismagilov, an Islamic scholar, former mufti of the Spiritual Administration of Muslims of Ukraine and now a serviceman of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. According to him, the mission is entrusted to political immigrants and diaspora. De-imperialization and decolonization are necessary conditions for positive changes in Russia, the head of the permanent delegation of the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine to the PACE, Maria Mezintseva, said. According to her, the topic is not yet properly represented in the international community. Only in April 2024, the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe voted for the historic resolution on the decolonization of the Russian Federation. Among other things, it says that Russia is only a federation formally, and indigenous peoples are subjected to repression and discrimination.
First of all, it caused a debate in Passé. The chairman of the legal committee is a British lord, so the word colonial and, in general, neo-imperialism aroused strong emotions in him. Despite this, he relied on his professionalism, and we reformatted these amendments and sent a hugely important message that resonated with the indigenous peoples who now live in the Russian Federation, and it was both private messages and using the text of the resolution publicly.
There is also a paragraph in the resolution of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe that says the losses of indigenous people in Russian army are disproportionately high, and this is a campaign to destroy indigenous people. After the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, reports about the formation of new mobilization lists and the delivery of summons for military service come from Buryatia, Primorye, and other regions of Siberia. For example, the Okinsk district of Buryatia. According to the official data, about 5,000 people live here. Most of them are representatives of the indigenous small-numbered Soyot people. According to the locals, at least 1 man was taken from almost every house. They were given 15 minutes to pack and no time to say goodbye to their families.
Literally everyone here knows each other. Before the war, it was really 1,800 to 1,900 of us at maximum. Now Google says there are almost 5,000 of us. Although, thanks to mobilization, we are just on the brink of extinction. Local resident in a comment to Sibir Reality.
According to the head of the Ukrainian delegation to the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, Maria Mezintseva, they intended to call on the EU and the UN to pay attention to numerous violations of the rights of Russia's indigenous peoples. On June 14th, Vilnius will host the 11th Forum of Free Peoples of Post-Russia. Long-term peace and a new security architecture in Europe are the main topics on the agenda. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Христина Домбровska, UATV News.